Highguard might be one of the fastest game collapses we've ever seen in gaming history. And gaming history has been around multiple decades. Now, I'm not saying that to be dramatic or being one of these little clickbait like podcasts and game coverage, but I'm just saying the start to where we at now happened very, very quickly. This game launched, barely had time to breathe, and already we're hearing about poor sales, backlash, and developers being laid off just days later after launch. We're talking 16 days, people. In the span of a paycheck, these people were laid off from the launch of this game. That's not a rough launch. That's a full-on implosion. So what happened here? How does a game go from release to fallout this fucking fast? Because this isn't just a Highguard problem. This is becoming a warning sign for the entire gaming industry.
I'm not entertained.
So here's what makes the Highguard situation so crazy. We've seen games struggle at launch before. Missed reviews, slow sales. That happens. That is very normal in 2026 gaming landscape. But Highguard collapsing this quickly is on another level completely. When a game underperforms so badly that layoffs happen within weeks, it shows how brutal the modern gaming industry has become. Games don't get time to grow anymore. If you explode on day one, publishers start panicking, investors start panicking, and the people who pay the price ultimately are the developers. That's what makes this story bigger than just a one-off headline or a one-off title or a throwaway headline. It's about how unstable the business is right now in gaming, where one bad launch can immediately become a studio crisis. That's why the Obsidian headline is not nothing to just glance over to. So the real question is, was Highguard doomed from the start, from how its rollout came at the Game Awards being the closeout show? Or is this just the latest example of the industry expecting instant success or nothing at all? Let's break it down. All right, I'm going to just go some main viewpoints and I'm going to turn it over to my cousin. Number one, big hype reveal at the Game Awards. Highguard was showcased as the final surprise reveal at the Game Awards at 2025. A spot usually for major titles, generating major visibility and expectations. Launch reception was upon release January 26th of 2026, the free-to-play PvP shooter drew mixed to mostly negative reviews, and that's saying that very lightly. Especially on Steam, with many players citing bugs, balance issues, and lack of content. Free-to-play games cannot lack content on release. You're just not going to survive in this landscape right now. The game peaked at around 97,000 concurrent players on Steam at launch, but then dropped quickly, with active counts falling into the low thousands shortly after. Rapid player decline and visibility drop, Highguard quickly fell out of Steam's top 200 bestsellers, a clear sign the launch momentum disappeared instantly. Major layoffs weeks after launch. Just about 2 weeks after launch, Wildlight Entertainment announced mass layoffs, letting go most of its staff, with only a core group remaining to support the game's future. If there's a future even at this point. Multiple reports confirmed the layoffs were significant, with developers publicly sharing that they were affected. Mixed developer response to backlash. Some developers criticize online negativity, this word that goes throughout the industry. Consumers massively show, hey, your game is fucked up and we don't fuck with it, called rage bait. Content for contributing to Highguard's challenges, claiming the game was mocked early and never recovered. Community and industry reaction. Fans and commentators noted that while Highguard attracted high initial player counts, retention was poor. Many players dropped the game quickly, and you cannot say those words in a free-to-play game in 2026. It's just too much competition out there. To wrap up all my points, Highguard launched to high visibility after the Game Awards, and I think it kind of set itself up for failure. That was probably a terrible decision. Hindsight is 2020, but after the mixed reception and rapid drop in player numbers, the developer layoffs, and most of its staff just weeks later, the situation has become major talking points around the industry on how multiplayer shooters must sustain strong early momentum or risk shifts of fallout. And this is just another prime example, and this is not Arc Raiders topic, but the success of Arc Raiders is truly lightning in a bottle. Not every game, especially that charge $40, can do what Arc Raiders done. And that's why Arc Raiders really is one of a kind. You cannot expect that from every game like that. So we really gotta put and give the makers of Arc Raiders in a higher regard, I think, than what we've been giving them. Because as we see with Highguard and all the fallout that, like I said, it's only been January 26th. We're recording this February 13th, like two weeks ago. Like, how can a game completely fall off a cliff? But like I said, lack of content and all that, you cannot say that in a free-to-play game in 2026. The competition is too scarce. It's too much money on the line. People attention spans and the amount of free-to-play games, Fortnite and all this other stuff, it's just too much other stuff. You cannot come bullshitting at launch. You have to come correct or you're going to fail. Your product is dead on arrival. But that's all I got to say on this matter. It's a crazy topic and it's been going around everywhere on all type of platforms: Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. But I'll let my cousin give his 2 cents now.
Yeah, so this should not really be any type of surprise. Anyone who pays attention to anything we report or anything in the gaming industry right now. Let's be honest. Gamers in droves have said it out loud. They do not care for the live service slop. They do not care for every little nickel and diming. And while my cousin brings up a point of Arc Raiders lightning in a bottle and etc., Arc Raiders is $40 and it's having tremendous success. This game was free and it's failing. So what does that tell you? That means you can give it away and people do not want it. But people are tired of the live service, the nickel and diming, the
shenanigans.
Don't play now, but you're gonna pay so much later. The online connectivity, drip feeding, people just don't want to deal with that anymore. And I understand it, because neither do I.
Yeah.
I said it beforehand when this was shown off. Hey, this stinks. The successes of previous live service endeavors, hey, those were the flukes. Those were the first 2 to get it, and those are the last. You have to truly come correct and come with something unique in a sense. And they're not doing that. What did they say when they announced this? Oh, people who made Apex Legends. Okay, well, there are people who already played and done that. Had their fun and moved on. Why would they try you out? Your gameplay was nothing new, nothing truly outstanding. It's a first-person shooter. There are a dime a dozen first-person shooter-ass games. Ooh, you added a horse. No one cares.
A bear.
Nothing special. It truly was nothing special. And then on top of that, you took a very coveted time slot in the Game Awards, the last game shown of the one last thing. And it was that, a free-to-play, quote-unquote, raid shooter. The hell is a raid shooter? Everyone's wondering what the hell was going on. And then rather than you trying to save face and explain yourself, you all went quiet. You went media blackout. Didn't say anything, didn't course correct. You let the naysayers and the quote-unquote negativity double down and paint the narrative for you. Well, by the time it came out, people were like, And then on top of that, you wanted to tote your accolades so high. And then you fumbled the ball. 3v3, lacking content, bugs and glitches. The time is over for a launch now, fix later. People are tired of, even for a free game, people are tired of that. And even though it is free, no one's about to sit up here and play this, entertain you, give you money, and wait for you to get your act together and launch content for the fucking game. That's not happening either. The time is now. People are tired and done with it. I want to add this too. This also comes on the heels of another live service S game failing as well. 2X KO, live service S fighting game. They're laying people off in droves, having to try to compensate and save face for their live service. For people don't want it. Destiny is failing. Apex Legends is shuttering and shutting down. The only creme de la creme king still toting hot is Fortnite. And you all need to let dream go. You will not upstage, replace, or take anything from Fortnite players. Because you know why? They've played it too long. They've invested their
Yeah.
time, money into it, especially with those fucking skins. And
Yeah.
another free-to-play game with nothing behind it, with nothing devs, no offense, making it is going to replace that. You're in too big of an ocean to try to do whatever, and it's just not happening. It's not happening. People don't want this shit. People want narrative-driven stories. They want co-op playing with their friends. They want a definitive beginning and ending, period. Not to be nickel and dime every 90 days or when you so-called see fit for it. That time has come and gone. And even though there'll be someone in the comments who want to argue it, who wants to say, hey, but what about this one? I'm telling you, even the so-called Destiny, the true live service example of success, even they're failing. Their player numbers dwindling. They are not what they used to be. People are getting off the roller coaster. They're not drinking the Kool-Aid anymore. It has come to an end. College is over. Y'all have to grow up. Damn, I sound like a parent.
Yeah.
But
Yo,
that
yeah.
but that but that's what's happening. Every gaming, every genre has their era. There was the dude bro era, co-op era, the first person shooter. When Call of Duty first
Multiplayer.
exploded, every motherfucker who had money was trying to make a first person military X shooter to get in on that pie. Call of Duty is struggling to stay relevant. This was the so-called juggernaut game that could never fail. Shit. Guess what?
Shit.
It's failing. Not failed, but it's failing. Highguard, I don't mean any harm or any dev to lose their job, etc. But you all need to
Yeah.
stop chasing this feeble dream. Let it go. Stop being lazy trying to make half-assed products. They're like, oh, we're going to make $1 billion on this. That's not how that works. You make the product, the consumer judges its success and make it what it's into. Hell, one last segment to go off of, even Overwatch had to fully course correct to take the 2 off and go straight back to regular Overwatch. And now their numbers are going up because people are like, hell yeah, we're going back to the good times. There are already established avenues for this. You're too little, too late. Then you're looking at the artwork. Hey, it's a motherfucker with a gun and a bear.
And a sword.
This is
And a
supposed to be a
horse.
shooter? This sounds like some shit with elves and orcs. What are you guys doing? So I'm not surprised. And at the same point, I don't care because I don't play this shit. And I know everyone's but like, Infamous, you're walling the Solax. Not for this shit. Not for online connected. Can't control what's going on. Will constantly need updates and they control what it. Nope, not happening. My heart goes out to the devs in this economy. I don't want people losing their jobs. I truly don't. I don't wish that on anybody. But at the same time, hey, someone somewhere in that office should have been like, hey man, how much shit on the market is like this? And you try to be cute, testing with your friends, doing a goddamn raid, even though Destiny was a shooter and they had quote unquote raids, etc. You're not them. You're not them. You're not that guy. But that's all I got.
When Sony, PlayStation, who is very meticulous about their exclusives, said, hey, we have 5 free-to-play, whatever, setup, and they spent millions on those games, and they came to the realization that
it was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
they looked on the landscape and was like, yo, these motherfucking products are already not returning value, and we have 5 in the pipeline? Scrap it. Millions spent, a lot of devs, they had to reshuffle and repurpose them, and I think some of those people got laid off too. You don't hear that from Sony a lot. And that was years ago. And Highguard is coming in 2026 with lack of content? I don't know. Listen, you know how you're the worker bee in your job, because at the end of the day, you work a job. And the higher ups just sound delusional. Baby, if I was on the developer team, I would have been interviewing because I would have knew this product is dead on arrival. And I'm not saying or condoning mass layoffs, but sometimes when you see the crash coming, baby, you gotta jump off the fucking train. If I was one of the developers and I saw this shit and we about to come in 2026 with the landscape, and like my cousin said, some of the high Destinies and Overwatch and Apex Legends, they're already struggling. The only one that's printing money and making record profits, his fucking fault. Fortnite. Like, let's not be delusional. We have to be very, very practical and realistic in 2026. And like I said in the other topic, you cannot come and fuck up. There is no more room for a No Man's Sky redemption story. That shit is a wrap. It's too much money on the line. These games cost too much money for the consumers. Consumers are already stressed out from day to day paying a rent and paying a mortgage. They mortgage going up every fucking year. You think they got time to give you little money on Highguard? Nah, bruh. So I'm very, like I said, it's unfortunate the mass layoffs and even the other games that my cousin point out, but I don't just, you gotta be practical in 2026. Like, these games are not bringing the return, and it's a very unfortunate story. Like I said, gaming in 2026 is getting more and more cutthroat. The numbers is just not math, and you cannot come to the market and just like think the consumer is just gonna take slop. There is no more room for a No Man's Sky experience in gaming in 2026, in my opinion. And that's just how I feel. And the market has shown, and the consumers have voiced their opinion, and it really aligns with that statement. So, Highguard, at the end of the day, it is embarrassing because somebody spent money on this. Somebody greenlit and really thought this was gonna work. And that's just crazy once you look at the product at the end of the day. But let me leave this to you, the viewers. This is kind of being long, drawn out, but this is really crazy and a real, real big stain in the start of a very promising year of gaming in 2026. But is Highguard collapse is just one game failing, or proof that the gaming industry has become so brutal that if you don't win instantly, you don't survive at all? So leave your comments, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and we'll see you there, because I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of opinions about this Highguard fiasco.
And that's it for this video of Are You Not Entertained podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll never miss our next hot take. Until next time, Are You Not Entertained?